Hey guys, Bullshit here. We're here for the Evil Within 2 summary. So if you guys don't remember, last time it was just Sebastian was leaving the Mobius dream scene. He was leaving the stem system, and Ruvik got into Leslie's body, and he walked away while Leslie's mind was killed within the shutdown of stem. And Katniss, I mean, not I just literally left the Hunger Games last two movies review. Um, what's her name? It's been like so long. I need to go play it because apparently the Evil Within 3 is coming out. Um, but the woman, I'm gonna say, shoot. Hold up. Julia Kidman. Not that I took a minute to think. Julia Kidman is a Mobius agent, and she betrayed Joseph and Sebastian's trust. For I think 2 years, Sebastian finds a Mobius like agent tag and he knows about it. He just wants to go around, he wants to find anything he can find out. But the thing is they are so shut out, but they still leave him little breadcrumbs, that way they still lead him. But it drives him mad trying to look for it. He goes and he completely stops going to. So from what the backstory is, basically he does return to the detective, like the police station he does. But the man, like the captain of the police, is a Mobius agent, so he feels bad because of Sebastian's pain. But he still is a Mobius agent, and he doesn't want to get in trouble with them. And he sends them to a Mobius psychiatric, and he basically puts Sebastian as insane in that he hasn't seen anything, but he still goes through all the stuff that way. Mobius has more understanding of the STEM system. Sebastian eventually gets so angry with the whole situation, he quits being a detective, goes to go find out about Mobius, finds the agent tag, finds little breadcrumbs, and then 2 years after the original Evil Within, he does find Julie Kinman in a bar after he got drunk a little bit. And they basically say, hey, guess what? We have your daughter. So we faked the death, and we've been having her, and it realizes that she is probably the perfect subject for a STEM system. She is the core of the fifth STEM system, I believe it was, and because of the mind of a child, she has open imaginary, like she has a whole capability of all this stuff. So instead of memories, she's got a whole world stuck within her. And they basically have people mine, like they go through like a little test. They basically like, here's a job, you can get paid for it. They come in here, they get checked. They do a full evaluation, that way there's no one going in there completely insane, and they erase their memory and throw them inside there with a new life, and they basically build a new life for them. Sebastian goes in there to save Lily because apparently Lily has went missing and went off the grid because there's a syncing between the connection to the core and the outside, so they can read and control the environment a little bit. Well, apparently there's two people that go into the system. The one I'll like explain later when it's revealed. But the second one is Stefano. Stefano is an artiste that he realizes that he needs to find a brand new art style. And from what I understand, is there's two cases of his backstory. One is that he be right back. All right. Sorry, an answering machine was going off. So basically, Stefano has two incidents. One is a friend of his, that's a woman. He ends up killing her and making her into a masterpiece. And then he kills a whole bunch of other women and creates a statue out of them. And no one catches him. But the thing is, he's made a new version. In one of his dialogues, he says that there was the violets, the blues, and the other colors of the rainbow, but there's never been a red. And because of this, he murders and uses the blood in the flesh, in the body parts of others to make masterpieces. Um, and it basically it's cruel art. That's what he is in, and he uses all this, and he wants Sebastian to look at it and be like, this is something to at least admire or check out. Like, it's something that someone put their hard work and effort into. So it's like, here it is. What do you think? And he does this for, I think, half, not even half the game. um I think he only does it for like 6, 7 chapters, and there's like 50, 16 chapters in the game. um but he ends up just in trying to get Lily. That way he's got a full scale, um he's able to control the entire environment, and with the environment he has full control over it. In that way he's able to make the biggest masterpiece he's ever wanted. He slowly gains control, though. In the end, he ends up getting shot through the camera lens that he holds so dear, to keep take pictures of his masterpieces. And oh, my food's coming. Nice. Um, and he ends up just getting killed by Sebastian. Lily's there in the audience because his big masterpiece, that he's gonna try to top with the power of Lily, is he puts a whole bunch of people in like an explosive collar with a bag over their head. He blows them all up, and the blood flows, and it's just an entire audience of that. And that's his masterpiece that he's gonna go over. He gets shot, and basically, um, the big villains that you can that he was subbed, like, that are under him, were like the lady with a whole bunch of faces and a saw hand. That's basically just a lot of people that he used heads for to construct a new sculpture. Um, there is his original sculpture, which was just him putting a whole bunch of body parts, and his oh crap, it's a very old camera, but it's a very like classic camera, and it's basically his baby. It's basically just a whole bunch of, I think it was legs that were put together with a camera on it. The Escura, that's what it is. Um, and I think those are the two big ones, and then you get into the rage, the pure anger of those, it being Theodore, Father Theodore, which is the second villain of the. Well, there's actually three villains, but there's two. He's the second villain, and he is the boss to Stefano. And Stefano wanted to cut the deal and be like, "I'm going to take all the power for myself. So I'll keep Lily, but then there's Father Theodore over here, like, you know what? I want the power. I'm gonna thank you, Sebastian, for getting him out of the way. He tries to guilt trip Sebastian with his memories of when he failed to save his daughter and his wife. Will stop his wife from leaving, so he tries to guilt trip him into helping him out and getting him Lily. That way they can get out, but he would actually have full control over it. Um, he has new like zombie characters known as like the Angered Lost. Um, and then I think that's for most of it. It's just those. Um, and he ends up at the very end when he's getting confronted by Sebastian. He throws Sebastian into the old game, the Evil Within 1, and he throws all the old horrors. The shoot, the keeper is the guy with the locker head. There was Lost Lauren, which is the spider girl that everyone was terrified of. And then there was shoot. I keep forgetting the one guy. He the chainsaw guy. He gets through all those, but he's able to because of his daughter is actually alive, and he has something to fight for now. Sebastian goes through all of them easily. He ends up um, injuring the Theodore a lot, and then it realizes that something that I didn't mention after Stefano. Right after Stefano, he finds Lily in the audience, but her protector, the Guardian, that from Mobius sent in the Guardian for her own mother, Myra, the wife of Sebastian, is in this. Apparently, after Lily's death, she got very superstitious about her death. This is a very odd thing. How could there be no body parts or anything left over? So she ends up going on this huge investigation. She got too close that Mobius had to figure out what to do with her. But she joins Mobius. That way she can get the closest to Lily without having to do anything to harm herself, Sebastian, or Lily herself. She worked with Lily for those years that she was missing. She kept her comforted. And also she's the one that tried her best to calm Lily down when the idea of STEM was a thing. And sending her in to calm her down, it looked like she was whenever she was in the STEM environment, she was okay. But she has now lost her mind, and now she's turned into like a slime creature. She is the third boss because she is nothing but the guardian to Lily anymore. That's all her mind goes to. She doesn't know about Sebastian, she just does it. But she ends up killing Theodore, and she destroys most of the landscape of the already destroying because Lily is no longer connected to the mainframe of Core. The world's starting to fall apart, and Myra makes it worse. Sebastian finds her way his way there, fights her off, and fights her enough to make her come back to consciousness. And with that, she's able to. There's always a chip in every Mobius um, agent's body, and she takes that, sends a signal to the mainframe, and because she takes possession of as the new core, and she sends back a signal that says kill everyone. And because the stem is so powerful and overwhelming, it's a whole world within a small section. She sends a thing that kills the entire Mobius. The entire Mobius. Every agent, every member is killed, including the leader of that section is killed. Kidman is the outsider double agent that helps Myra. It was Myra, Kidman. Theodore was actually a part of that, but thing is, in the middle of taking Lily out and letting things happen, he tried to grab Lily and ruin the plan by Lily running away. Um, there is else than that. There is, I think, three people. There's a few people for you to know about. There's an entire tech team that goes in there. Everyone dies. There's a guy named Harrison. There's a few others that die. One gives you a stabilizer to keep the world up together for longer. but one person lives, which is O'Neill. O'Neill ends up becoming one of Theodore's, um, like it's a flame, like a flamethrower person. He ends up becoming one of those, and he kills him so that way he's released, and he's lost in anger, and he explains this to Sebastian that he even though he's seen the truth, it's just pure anger and rage, and it let goes of your humanity when you go into Theodore's part. He dies. Then there is a doctor that ended up um, being like doing the psychic like psychiatric work for Lily. She also was one of the doctors that did the psycho evaluations for whoever went into STEM. Um, and then there's one more person, which was an army person. She is like I think Tori or something like that. She ended up being the one to burn down Sebastian's house and take Lily. She was the one that took Lily in the first place. And because of the guilt of taking a daughter from the family and making the father becoming an alcoholic and having the wife run away to do this superstitious, crazy bit, she feels bad, so becomes a part of the plan. She was supposed to be the person to do the core thing like Mira does in the end. Um, that way she feels revived, but she is killed by the lava people that Theodore sends out. And then the doctor ends up getting consumed by fire. O'Neill dies by Sebastian trying to release him from that. The entire tech team is killed off. So is their security. Um, Everyone inside the STEM, Elson, Sebastian, and Lily are able to escape. Kidman is able to release them because she's from the outside. Um, Myra and everyone else that were inside STEM are killed off because an entire explosion of that environment is what sends out the signal to do what is needed. Um, and to end it basically happily ever after, Lily and Sebastian go off to live their lives. Kidman does whatever she can, trying to forget Mobius. And there's two big wows in this thing, like surprising that. I'm trying to remember. So actually, there's three. So in the ending of The Evil Within, it realized that there is another stem. There is another stem, and it is activated, and it is after a few years because there's cobwebs and all that. But we don't know who's the core and who activated it. Next is a very small one. If you do like 100%, you're able to get an image of Sebastian and Lily adopting a black cat with a bell on her, which is actually Kidman's saving cat from her DLC in the first one. She is adopted, and she's also the saving cat for Sebastian as well. Well, actually, no, that she's like the cat that jumps on and gives him stuff, leads him to things. The nurse ends up being one of the people that goes missing thanks to Mobius, but she's one of the people that try to help the Cassianos. Um, and then there is one more I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah. Whenever you get in the game, there's collectibles. There's 13 collectibles known as the slides. It is a slideshow. There is a projector in Sebastian's room, which is his safe room. And it basically gives you 13 slides, 13 memories. Most of them are like Kidman first getting hired, the family being together, the Constantino family being together, the original STEM environment, the STEM building, and Mobius and all that. They have all that going. And the final memory, whenever you collect the first 12, the 13 is instantly given to you after you review all of them. The black cat that is adopted by Lily and Sebastian shows the 13th slide over by the adjustment chair, which is where the nurse appears and all that. She shows you that this is going to be a new memory that duggan up. It's been thrown into the back of Sebastian's mind. That way Sebastian doesn't have to remember it. Is in the first one, his partner Joseph is shot and killed by Kidman because he gets in the way of Leslie dying. Um, in the DLC of the Keeper, it shows that he was stuck in the environment after Sebastian, but thing is, he has been driven mad and became a lost one completely. Same in the way of the Kidman one, he was a lost one, but he was still back to normal. But it is realized in whenever you're reviewing that thing, because every time you review a slide, you have Kidman on the walkie, and she explains how it goes. Then at the very end of that one, he's like, I feel bad about Joseph. And she's like, he's actually alive. And then basically they do a cliffhanger where it's like, we're going to talk about this later. Yeah, we are. We're talking about where my best friend, my partner, went after you shot and killed him. So anyhow, that is basically it. There is 3 things to go into this. Actually, there's only 2. For the Evil Within 3, it's just there's a new kitty. There's a new state environment that we don't know who turned it on or who is the core of this. And where's Joseph? That is the 3 questions that. Well, there's 2 questions in a new part that can go into the Evil Within 3. Anyhow, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.